This is 10 things we've learned from 10 years of skincare. Beauty Within actually started in 2013, which makes this year the 10-year anniversary. But back then, it was called Asian Beauty Secrets, with a host you might know, Mia. And I started in January 2018, which is when it rebranded to Beauty Within. And looking back, oh my god, what were we doing?
It looks like there's a cockroach on my brow.
Then Ro came along a couple of months after that in June.
Hey guys, so my name is Rowena.
And the rest is history. So here are our 10 major lessons after making 735 videos. Simplify the chaos and find our go-tos. Over the years, I've realized we can tend to make things way more difficult than they need to be and become overwhelmed with everything that's fighting for our attention. Oh my god, I saw that the other day. I need it too. Should I be using that? So, block everything else out for a second and ask yourself what works for you. And now we can sort it out much easier. But if anything in column 3 goes a little astray, just go back to 1 and start again. Chaos simplified. Now it's to find our inner triggers to know what we don't want. We've learned to see our skin as a mirror of what's going on internally. Mirror, mirror on the wall, who's the fairest of them all? Not us if we've eaten a bad apple. And looking through the mirror over the years, we've gotten pretty intimate with our individual triggers. A trigger can be defined as a stimulus that elicits a reaction. And reactions on our skin are typically inflammation. Some of the most common inner triggers we've found could be excessive dairy, coffee or caffeine, carbs, spicy foods, deep fried foods.
So for Ro, she can't have too many deep fried foods, otherwise it's instant nosebleeds. So if it's excess deep fried chicken or fries, anything of that nature because it's heat. And then for me, it is dairy. So anything with too much milk, too much cheese, even though I love it, it will mean gassy farts and an onslaught of jawline acne. So it's all about balance.
And honestly, it can be a semi-painful process of trial and error. But next time, if something is triggered, it's okay because now we have new information to find solutions so much easier. Seek quality over quantity.
So in 2018, when we first started, everything was new, shiny, undiscovered, and we realized no one was answering the questions of why.
Why do I need to cleanse or tone? What's a serum? And does everyone need to moisturize? Okay, just look at how many toners I have here. All the classic hyped videos that we did and dupes with Ro. So we decided to answer it ourselves by testing and researching, which led to using a crazy amount of products. And this was our quantity phase. So after 3 or 4 years of endlessly testing everything under the sun, we naturally didn't want to use a million things anymore and just wanted to focus on what really brought us joy and also what we'd learned had worked for our skin. That's where we'll tend to happily pay more because we know our skin loves it, and to us, that's quality. But quality doesn't always have to mean a high price tag either, because for some ingredients, it's actually quite affordable for brands to buy and to formulate with, so you shouldn't have to pay an extreme markup for these. And one brand that we've talked about and used for years is Isntree, and also our sponsor for today's video.
Fresh and clean.
This is their ultra low molecular hyaluronic acid, and just look how cute the bottle is. This toner actually won as one of the top toners in the Korean Hwanhae Awards. I like to use hyaluronic acid or just basically any ingredient that's not a chemical exfoliant on my hands. My skin was so hydrated that it actually brightened. Amazing. I've never really thought too much about hyaluronic acid because it is an ingredient in a lot of formulations, but this specific one thoroughly changed my mind. Next, we have the Onion New Pert Gel Cream. And if you've been with us for a while, you know I am a gel cream connoisseur, so I can tell you a thing or two about textures. This one is so beautiful.
You might not know this, but the theme to my wedding, like the bridesmaids, was lilac. It was literally this color.
This one has a unique red onion extract that helps treat acne and hyperpigmentation, as well as soothing benefits. And Cassandra Bankson actually came out with a collaboration sunscreen in this line, so that's where you might have seen it. Oh, and by the way, it has no scent, in case you were wondering. Moving on to the most important step, sunscreen.
And I don't know where you've been if you haven't heard of this already, so boop.
This guy is viral and well deserved because it's like a gel cream but an SPF. So it's perfect for those people who hate the feeling of sunscreen, or if you have oily combination skin, or even just live in a really humid, hot climate where you don't want sunscreen to feel sticky. This is definitely something that you would give your friends who hate sunscreen.
So radiant, so healthy.
So make sure you check it out if you're looking for some new hydration products to add into your routine. Okay, I'm getting hungry. Next one is easy as pie. Each day, we're faced with small decisions that can make our life a little bit better or a little bit worse. But regardless, little by little, a little becomes a lot.
In my early 20s, my daily pie chart of priorities looked like this.
I was confused like any other 20-something-year-old about my skin, my decisions in life. Should I pursue this thing or that thing? And honestly, just scared to ask for help or to show that I was feeling vulnerable. But on the other hand, I had this zest for life and didn't really care too much about health. Boring.
That is until you get sick or something shows up on your skin or your body and you're like, oh my god, I am never taking the normal things for granted again. Youth. So, over the years, learning more, trying more, and just slowing down to see what works and doesn't, my daily pie chart looks a little more like this.
It wasn't one thing, but a combination of a little bit of all of them. It'll be wildly different for everyone. So whatever it is we're working towards, let's take small steps and make it easier on ourselves to achieve those big changes. Mother knows best. Taken from a line of one of my favorite animations. And the fact is, it's not that mothers always have it right. It's as we've gotten older, we've also realized they're just trying to figure it out too. But the time-tested experiences that they've shared with us seem to be pretty universal. We realize it's these basic habits that can be some of the hardest to get right. So for us, we've taken the approach of taking the simple things and making it ours. For water, we can jazz it up a little with probiotics, electrolytes, and teas to give our bodies different types of hydration. You can get alarm clocks that help you wake up and go to sleep. I've always taken off my makeup with an oil and balm, and only recently have I started to use eye creams a little bit more, but still not essential. So, thanks, Mom.
Even with the 735 videos we've made, we can tell you one thing. We're still learning.
All right, have a good one.
And on that, it's okay to not have all the answers. One of the fundamental truths of life is that there will always be questions, and we come up with answers to some of these on a daily, monthly, yearly basis, but then new questions pop up and we start all over again.
Okay, where were we?
So we've seen that no matter how much we buy, test, or use and discuss in skincare, it just brings up more questions. And when it seems like we found new solutions, bing, more things to discuss. Like take snail mucin. It's had a resurgence of popularity, and then eventually something like this will come along. That's like, oh my god, really? Wow! Not a product placement, just thirsty. Thank you.
So this is where our very small and mighty team does a lot of our idea brainstorming and just discussions, laughter, tears, many tears. We're at that stage where people are like, what's your plan? What's your goals? When are you gonna get married? When are you gonna have kids? Like, it's kind of never enough. And honestly, I can't even tell you what I'm gonna have for dinner tonight, let alone those grand life questions.
See, look, my socks aren't even matching today. One has a whale, one has a flamingo. So the fact is, we've learned it's not really about what's the right way, the perfect way, because there's no such thing.
Yup.
We're all so different, and we'll always have a different opinion about something, whether it's ingredients, or even in relationships and politics and just life.
So I was watching Kung Fu Panda 1 the other day. I know, a little bit late, but Master Oogway had this quote.
Yesterday is history, tomorrow is a mystery, but today is a gift. And that's why it's called the present.
A wise turtle.
Don't forget to have fun. This is pretty self-explanatory, but we forget. I am in the sound booth. And this is what you hear me sing.
So I look at the screen for my script, talking to this guy, and literally want to die of claustrophobia.
The glamorous life of production.
Creating content to share on the interwebs is kind of this crazy thing where you're basically exposing yourself to potentially millions of people.
Testing, testing.
Like, it's crazy how many people have seen me showering. Like, that is bizarre.
I saw this post on IG the other day and shared it, and it said, "Be patient in becoming the person you've never been." Perfect.
And over time, the passion and the fun can definitely be overtaken by anxiety and stress and frustration. So if anything, this is just another reminder to ourselves to find joy in the little things around us. And a lot of it is a matter of perspective. On that note, you're doing better than you think. Back to the fact that we've made 736 videos, including this one. That is objectively a lot of videos.
But I don't even feel like we've scraped the surface of what it is we truly want to make here on the channel, and we're still learning and figuring it out as we go. Sometimes instead of feeling excited for the future, it can feel like we're already behind, but I know it's not like that. Cute.
And in moments like this, I think back to all those special connections and conversations we've had with scientists and CEOs, founders, and other creators, and you guys. Every time you comment or share a story with us about you guys finding your own way in your own journey, it truly makes our whole team so excited, because that's really the only reason we do this, to learn and share and grow together.
Oh, incoming message. Something I learned this year is that how we measure our days will be how we live our days. And historically, I've measured myself and my days based off of how productive I was, what I was able to get through that day, what I was able to check off, what I wasn't able to check off. And that very much dictated how much pressure I put on myself. Basically, things that I was creating my output. And this year, I didn't have the quote-unquote most productive year, which was why I was feeling really off, and I was really hard on myself for most of the year until I realized that there's many other things that we can be proud of within ourselves. And that's for us to decide how we'd want to measure our days. If we want to measure it off of productivity, great, there are seasons for that. If we want to measure it based off of how much we've grown, how much we've let go, how much more we're able to be kind to ourselves, those are also amazing measurements. And I just feel like if I could go back in time and tell my younger self one thing, it would be to be very intentional with how I measure my days. Because it can change, it can grow. But so long as we're clear on what we want it to be, we can allow that to influence and affect how we live our day to day. And every once in a while, as the seasons come and go, we can change it, we cannot change it, But so long as we're aware of it, I think that's what's most important. And even though it may not seem like you had your best year yet, if we really do some thinking and if we really do some reflection, I'm sure there will be so many things you surprise yourself with in terms of how much you've grown, how much you've changed, and maybe even how much you've let go. I just look like a little thumb.
Hello my beauties! I cannot believe a decade has gone by. When I started the channel back in 2013, I did not expect anything, to be honest. But as you get older, you've got family pressure, peer pressure, even like the pressure the society gives you, and then you start to expect all those things from yourself. Like I remember thinking by now I would have been married, have 2 kids, white picket fence, CEO of a company, traveled around the world, or at least Europe. And although I have not achieved all those things, I feel like it's never too late to start. Like for a million years, what I've never thought I would be back in New York doing what I'm doing right now. So my only advice to you guys is that it's never too late to start, and don't let anyone tell you what you should and shouldn't do, because you should always follow your dreams, follow your heart, and do what makes you happy, because your life belongs to you and you need to make the best of it. So please never give up. Remember, you guys can always follow me on my social medias, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.
Something that we mentioned in a video about 2 years ago was this word sonder, which means a realization that each random passerby is living a life as vivid and complex as your own. The only constant is change. Change can be really hard to wrap our minds around because it's simultaneously internal and external. It involves skin, habits, priorities, perspectives, relationships, and environments. And when it's all happening at the same time, I find it forces me to think about who am I and how should I respond to these changes. We're all bound to change, and if we didn't, then we wouldn't be growing. And lastly, you'll find everything you're looking for within.
What is our nighttime tradition?
Tea time.
Yeah.
Okay, now put in.
So the very last and final tip that we have is you'll find everything you're looking for within. So I wanted to end it on this point because we end the day here every day, but then also just to take you through the whole day with me and kind of like sharing the little bits and pieces of the journey. There are so many times that me, Ro, Mia, and like just our whole team, there's only like 5 of us, have wanted to give up. And because like making videos for the whole world to see is actually a very rewarding but a very scary thing to do. You're basically just like exposing your whole life for everyone out there to critique. So it was definitely a learning curve, especially at the very beginning. But I think through all the connections that we've made and the like learning through the process, like it's taught us so much. A lot of that goes back to every single one of you guys who watch, and especially when you share your comments or stories, or even if like randomly we'll be in K-Town or like walking on the street, sometimes even on the train, even if you come up and you say you found a product that completely changed your skin and your confidence and your stories, it puts a little tear to my eye. Hearing how we're actually able to make an impact is why we do it, and that's how we kind of like overcome all the difficulties. So just know that behind every video it is definitely blood, sweat and tears, and there's a whole team that's just practicing our own motivation and perseverance and discipline to create what we hope you enjoy and that we also enjoy. So with that, cheers to the future! No. Cheers to the next chapter. Can't wait to see what it brings. Wink.
Babe, you forgot to mention me as part of the team.
Thomas does actually help film some B-roll.
I've also thought about giving up.
On our marriage. And if you've made it this far,